Hello and welcome to the ADHD Guru podcast. My name is Jonathan Carroll. I am an ADHD and executive functioning coach. For more information on me, you can visit my website at adhdguru.com. You can call me at area code 877-398-2343. So shoot me an email to Jonathan, that's Jonathan at adhdefcoach.com. You can find me on YouTube and at Twitter, and maybe you're watching this video right now. Thank you very much. You can find me on YouTube and at Twitter at ADHD Guru. You can find me on Facebook at ADHD and Executive Functioning Coach. If you are listening to this to the iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, or TuneIn Radio apps, thank you very much. If you wouldn't mind leaving me feedback, I'd appreciate it. Positive feedback's appreciated. Constructive feedback is always good. And I'm always looking for show ideas. So if you want to leave that on one of those sites, or if you want to send it to me in email, I'm happy to discuss different topics that you might have. Also very happy to announce, and just found this out last week, that I will be speaking at the CHADS, that's Children and Adults with ADHD Conference, this November in Atlanta on Friday afternoon on ADHD and social skills. So I'm very excited about that opportunity. Obviously, as we get closer, I'll have more details, but truly an honor to be involved in such a great organization, CHAD. And if you don't know about CHAD, you should probably take a few minutes and go to chadd.org into your browser and check it out, or ask other professionals like myself. CHAD is really the largest group that supports and helps us understand ADHD. They offer a variety of benefits, including a subscription to Attention Magazine, another plug for myself, which I've been in the last two issues. I've written pieces for. So really and truly, it's a great organization, offers a lot of benefits. So I would take a look into that. So let's jump into today's topic. And this is really for parents of children with ADHD. Maybe some of my older kids with ADHD, college-age students, older high school students, but it's summertime. Well, I would say that we hope it's summertime. I live in the Chicago area, and we went from last week being the mid to high 70s to the low 40s in 1 week. So we're not quite there yet, but schools are certainly winding down. We're sort of at the end of the road for a lot of students. And through that whole experience, we're sort of saying, like, okay, now what? What are some things that we should do over the summer? Let me start off by saying that I think one of the best things that you can do for anyone with ADHD is downtime. I do believe that because of the efforts we have to put into focus and to regulate, our brains are working overtime. And just like any muscle that you might use, it's going to need a little bit of a breather, a little bit of downtime. I don't think jumping into activities full speed ahead over the summer is ever productive. I don't think it's a bad thing, but sometimes I think it might be important to have little breaks over the summer. I am an adult with ADHD, and I will tell you that over the summer I try to build in some professional breaks for myself. Not that I don't work, but I might focus on things that take a little less bandwidth and allow me sort of to recharge my batteries a little bit. So I think it's the same thing you should look at with your students and your younger learners, is that break's important. So I really wouldn't try to schedule too much. I think it's a bit like scheduling things is important, having structure is important, but allow them time to be a kid. I think is really what you should look at. Now, in my field, I'm a coach, and I find coaching to be effective over the summer in a very intensive way. So that's not an endorsement for what I do, but it's more of like I like to continue providing services to my clients. I think some of my clients would initially prefer that break over the summer, and I certainly understand it. But I think there's also opportunities over the summer to look at certain things and continuing to address those. So I don't view the summer as an opportunity to take breaks. I probably view the summer as an opportunity to kind of, just address some things in a less stressful kind of way. So I would definitely recommend, if you do receive support services, or if your kid does, to definitely continue those, but maybe in a little less intensive kind of way. And again, build in that sort of downtime. Um, Structure is good. Too much structure, I think, it can be a bit much. Um, and the time to recharge those batteries is really important. One last thing, I think, for the summer, and it again goes into sort of like why I like to see my clients, um, but not maybe as intensely, is I think that you also have to be cognizant of the fact that some of the skills that we work on for ADHD don't become automatic. They don't necessarily lock in, and even moving away from those for a few months might cause some of those skills to slip away. So I think it's really important that um, you do look at and try to maintain some of the skills that have been addressed through the professionals, like coaching, therapy, and things like that. And just because if you don't use them, you potentially could lose them a little bit, or it might take them more time to be built back in. And all of a sudden, before you know it, the school year starts back up again. So to recap sort of what I said is, I think the summer needs to be an opportunity for downtime. I think it's really important that kids are allowed to be kids and play with their friends and go to camp and enjoy themselves, because, again, how long do you have to be a kid before all of a sudden we're not kids anymore? But I do think it's also important to maintain some of the skills that you've addressed, not as intensely, not, maybe say like, okay, we'll take a couple weeks off here and there, but sort of just keep your relationship with your professionals open, but not necessarily have to be as intense. And just, really encourage the enjoyment of the summer, because like I said before, adulthood rolls around and we don't have those opportunities. So let me give you my contact information one more time. My name is Jonathan Carroll. I am an ADHD and executive functioning coach. You can find out more information on me on my website at ADHDguru.com, ADHDguru.com, I should say. You can call me at 877-398-2343. You can send me an email to Jonathan, that's JONATHAN, at ADHDEFcoach.com. You can find me on YouTube, iTunes. You can find me on YouTube and on Twitter. Sorry about that, at ADHD Guru. Got a little tongue-tied there. And now what I want to say is you can find me on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, or TuneIn Radio under ADHD Guru. And if you listen to the podcast regularly and can leave me feedback, it would be appreciated. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Enjoy the nicer weather.